What you see before you is a heap of sand. Nobody can argue that it isn't a heap because there is no concrete definition of what constitutes a heap. However, if one were to remove a single grain of sand from this heap, it would still remain a heap. If grains were continually removed, it will eventually dwindle down to a single grain. Objectively speaking, a single grain cannot be defined as a heap. At which point did this heap cease to be a heap? How many brushstrokes are necessary for a canvas to become a painting? How many notes are needed to create a song?
Hello, my name is Joshua Roseborough, and what you just heard was an excerpt from the song Chubology by Goopfest from their debut album in 2013. It wasn't until the fall of 2014, during my first semester at college, that I discovered Goopfest, and it was different. Never before had I ever even heard anything like this before in my entire existence. And after a couple of re-listens and a little bit of soul searching, I came to the realization that there is actually more to this than first meets the ear. So I went on a personal crusade to talk to the creators of Goopfest and find out what it all really means.
For reasons unexplained to me, the creators of Goopfest have asked to remain anonymous.
I'm humbled that there are people that listen to this and that like it. We made this with the intent that we would not have that.
There was no thought process, and that was the beauty behind it. It was absolutely free in every way.
To those who say that our definition of success is wrong and that what we're doing is not on par with what they're doing, I would counter that and say, what is your definition of success? They're literally taking a formula and they're just doing it over and over again.
And obviously that formula works, it sells. But what's actually causing the formula to work? What happens if we break away from that formula? Do we still get something viable? Do we still get something artistically meaningful?
Music is really broad. I don't think it's easy to lock down music as this or that.
I don't know what the definition of art is. Does anyone really? Everyone pretends to know what the definition of art is, but I mean, I guess it's a subjective term.
The definition of music probably varies as widely as any other term. It's almost like asking someone to define what red is. You have a piece in the 20th century written by John Cage that's simply entitled 4 minutes and 33 seconds. The performers come on stage, but they sit and then they are quiet. Then you get electronic music where you've got recorded sounds, sometimes created by electronic instruments, and it becomes something that's completely different than what that natural sound was. All these things are considered different forms of music now. It seems like a unique sound has to be something that has some kind of hook or something that makes people take notice. There has to be something new that draws attention.
There's a record company in Utah called Kernverve that creates and celebrates intentionally terrible music, whether it's harsh noise, whether it's a 2-hour concept album about going to McDonald's.
So we've been working with him to try to carry over our artistic vision.
It's a family of sorts, and our plans are to release Goopfest on that record label.
Upon hearing about Kernverve, I had to travel further down this rabbit hole and interview one of its co-creators. What exactly is Kernverve, for those who don't know?
Well, Kernverve Records is, along with my friend Eric, who lives in Indiana, we're basically a record label that counts as a record label technically, but our goal is to never take ourselves seriously.
So how exactly did you first hear about Goopfest?
Well, I was friends for many years. So eventually he came up with the idea of Goopfest. I was there to hear that. I enjoyed it because that's the kind of dumb stuff I like. It's sort of making fun of music itself. It's sort of subversive in a way. It takes elements of music. By definition, it is music, but it takes elements of music and it puts it together in a way that doesn't sound like music.
Would you say that what you do is more in line or true artistically than some other people who are just in it for the money?
You know what? I know the answer you're looking for is yes, but honestly, I would say no. I think what's valid is the result, what comes out of it. Like I said, we're just having fun with it. I don't see ourselves as people with integrity, because the minute we start taking ourselves seriously, that's when the whole point of it has left.
We, in so many ways, are standing up to everything in the world and all the expectations that are placed on us.
I want to come off like I have hatred for my audience, but I like the idea of just having absolutely no ties to expectations. I want no ties to expectations. That's why our record label celebrates no ties to expectations.
We've never tried to be something that everybody else is.
It's absolutely refreshing to go back to something that I just know is a pure representation of myself, and that's nice to turn back to when I question who I am.
We asked Dr. Killian to listen to a track from Goopfest to see what a person of his academic prowess would think of their original composition.
It's dripping all over me. You make me feel good. You make me feel good. Come on, baby, feel good. You can't help but it's a long way.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts on this?
It seemed to be cutting from lots of different, I mean, it had some voices, so, I feel good after listening to it, so.
So, I guess the real question is, to you, is this music?
I think it's something that you would politely sit through, but to say that it's not music, I think you'd have to say that, yeah, well, this could be considered music, and it could be something that people like to listen to.
In my endeavors to plumb the depths of music, I have found myself coming to the same conclusion as composer Mark Applebaum. The question shouldn't be, is this music or is this art? Rather, the more important question to ask ourselves is this interesting?
My mind. 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 My mind.